Our reform process is centered on transforming traditional compliance-based procurement to a strategic procurement as a strategic function. This is a major change in thinking and the way we do procurement. This is a major change in approach. The traditional compliance-based procurement is short-termism, it's reactive, it's transactional. It's based on satisfying current operational needs vis-a-vis the prevailing market dynamics. This approach doesn't look far. It doesn't look far. It's not strategic at all. And so, this traditional compliance-based procurement, it creates purchase price to value for money. And it is not. This is a fallacy. It's a mistaken belief. So the strategic procurement as a strategic function, is to infuse the procurement process, the purchasing activities, into the strategic planning process, into the strategic decision-making process, so that procurement decisions become strategic decisions. In this way, strategic decisions, which are now procurement decisions, will support the overall business goal.
The new provisions for the 2022 Act, we have the clear procurement principles. In Section 20 of the new Act explicitly lists principles such as fairness, accountability, efficiency, and transparency. This ensures all government procurement is guided by these standards. In contrast, the 2014 Act mentioned principles only generally. Also, the planning and transparency. Well, annual procurement plans are now mandatory, showing project categories, the time limits and the costs. Procurement notices, awards, and contracts must be published by the procuring organization for public access, which is now a big improvement and where disclosure was limited. Procurement methods, we have new methods that are in the new Act. We have the framework contracts, we have the negotiated procedures, the first account, where the procuring organization can use their staffs and materials to do the work. We also have consultancy selections. And in this Act, all these methods are well explained, their method of applications. We have ethics and integrity. Section 23 to 25 defines the officials and suppliers, covering fraud, corruption, and conflict of interest. It also allows the debarment of unethical suppliers. The old Act had ethics rules, but enforcement was weaker. We have appeals and complaints. Bidders can now formally appeal to procurement decisions under Section 70 to 71 through the Complaint Review Board. We have also support for MSMEs, encouraging local participation. 2014 mentioned SMEs only broadly. We also have Section 99. We introduced the law for emergency procurement, which is a big improvement. Record keeping and oversight. Section 90 requires detailed records for suppliers and agencies. Offenses and penalties. Section 94 to 95 provides stricter penalties for corruption. So the new Act basically provides more transparent, accountable, and fair, while also supporting local businesses and ensuring ethical conduct.
Appealing to all the government institutions, the parastatals, and also the MDAs, these are ministries, the departments and agencies, and other stakeholders to be very much actively involved in training, because without training, as the saying goes, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Currently, we have revisited our bidding document, and then we came up with some new procurement methods that we have, and the forms that we have to roll out probably next year. That's just around the corner. So all these procuring institutions must be trained, because if they are not trained, they would not know how to go about it. As we all know, all the submissions are being submitted to Gppa for approval. But when they do their submission to Gppa for approval, the Director General will mail it to the Compliance Director, who will mail it to the action officers. And these action officers will go through these submissions for approval, and any advice that they could give, they will give that. After that extensive review of the document, they will know what to advise, whether to approve or not to approve, or what to advise, or what is lagging by, what is not, when it is not enough. So this is precisely the crux of the matter. That's why all the procurement institutions have to be trained and then to know how procurement is being procurement should go. Move on. Hence, the chunk of a chunk percentage of government revenue goes into procurement.
The compliance unit, our main responsibility is to review, to do prior reviews and post reviews. Since the advent of the Gppa Act 2022, among the functions of the authority gave birth to authorization. If we say authorization, this is a process wherein the authority, the compliance unit, will have to assess institutions to see whether they have the capacity to do their own procurement. And in this authorization, an institution will be given the liberty, a certificate to do their own procurement within their own level for the period of 2 years. Since 2023 to date, the authority have authorized 44 institutions. Among the 44 institutions, 14 among them are ministries. They're doing their own procurement without seeking Gppa's prior approval. But in every rule, there are exceptions. There are certain methods wherein they will have to seek Gppa approval, which is the single source procurement method, if the threshold, the procurement value is beyond the threshold, the authorized threshold, and restricted tender. Apart from these two methods, any other procurement they're doing, they will have to depend on their contracts committee to do their procurement without Gppa's involvement.
This Gppa is the authority responsible for all procurements in the country, public procurements, and to ensure that procurements are transparent, free and fair, and then at the end of the day they achieve value for money. And to do that, the authority have a set of instruments, and these include the Gambia Public Procurement Act and its attendant regulations. Also, we have templates, we have forms, we have bidding documents, and so on and so forth. And these are the instruments that will guide our operations. And these are the very instruments that also the procuring organizations will use to ensure that they conduct their procurements in accordance with what the law provides for. And because of that, it is also mandatory that we organize training so that procuring organizations will be able to, of course, use these documents and according to expectations. And because of that, we have what we call recurrent training. We call it recurrent simply because the training is ongoing. Procurement is dynamic. It changes every time. And because of that, institutions need to be updated all the time. So these recurrent trainings target all institutions that use public funds. And these include the ministries, of course, about 22 ministries, including the highest offices of the Office of the President and the Office of the Vice President. You have the security forces or services, you have the local government authorities, you have the other institutions, state-owned enterprises, and so on. So what we normally do is we identify their weaknesses, the areas that they need to adjust with. So we prepare our trainings tailor-made to ensure that the gaps or their needs, training needs, are of course fulfilled.
During the year 2023-2024, the Gambia Public Procurement has actually launched its website as well as a portal, a digital portal whereby organizations, procurement organizations, as well as businesses can actually register online. So we had made it, we have been able to make it accessible, registering accessible to businesses and organizations across the country. And also our future plans is to build on our digital procurement system, a more digital procurement system, whereby institutions can actually upload the information, and also the procurement process can be done online. And it encourages the culture of accountability and transparency to have a more digital procurement system. We are also looking into having procurement plans, publishing procurement plans that will also encourage more vendors into looking into utilizing our digitalized system.
To achieve efficient and effective public service delivery, at the same time, value for money, we have to look at 3 processes. One of them is cost optimization. Cost optimization means cost is not the purchase price, it's not the initial investment, it is not the capital outlay that gives value for money, but it's total cost, it's end product life. Secondly, risk. Strategic procurement has to consider risk. In the traditional procurement, risk is confined to financial guarantees, the bid bond, the performance bond, payment guarantee, bond securities. That's all. But in strategic thinking, in strategic procurement, risk mitigation involves customer relationship development and supply chain management. Thirdly, which is our main focus, is digitalization, process reforms, process optimization. Digitalization is so important that when we talk about what we have done here, in 2003, we started the digitalization of the procurement process. And the first thing we did was to digitalize the registration system. Any company, any business that wants to do business with the government has to register with the Gambia Public Procurement Authority. And this registration was manual. We digitalized this, which means now you can register with Gppa wherever you are, at your home, in your office, even if you're abroad. So long as you have an internet connection, you can register online. And so the human interaction is removed, the problems of traveling to Gppa is all gone. And this has also improved our revenue significantly.